Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn 101. This episode, getting around to Eorzea. But before we touch on that, I just want to make one quick announcement. With a 2.5-week lull until the projected Phase 4 start date, I'm gonna be putting some other content on my YouTube page. I would really appreciate it if you would go over, watch it, like it. It would really help me. It would really support me in the times that there's not much more information that's really coming out. But information that does come out, interviews, screenshots, I will make sure to keep you guys updated. I'll also do some fun little, maybe draw my life stuff, maybe some more Cube World stuff. I'll do whatever I can to keep you guys entertained. So stick around because I'm here for the long haul. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's jump right into what you really came here for, Final Fantasy XIV. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this very excellent looking map. Somebody actually made this map based on map data, both data mined and that, there was available in the Final Fantasy XIV beta. Now, as you can see here, there are 3 different sections it's currently broken up into. We're going to go over those sections individually. Keep in mind this map is incomplete. It does not include Coerthas or Mordona, so there are actually 2 more regions that we haven't seen here. Plus, we can see the maps, we can't see some of the content inside, so don't worry too much about that. So first, let's go over the Limsa map. As you can see, this is honestly, in my opinion, the most complicated map of them all, only because there's a lot of different boat paths going on here. On the very left-hand side of Limsa itself, you can actually see that there is a boat that leads to Vesper Bay over by Ul'dah. For those of you wondering who want to get maybe between Limsa and Ul'dah in the early levels, that will be your quickest route. Getting to Gridania is another story though, so we'll touch on that a little bit later. For the most part here in Lenosi, there are a lot of things that we can see here that we've already seen before. Most of the zone we've been able to look at. There are some interesting designated things though. Leviathan and Titan do have designated spots on this map. I can assume that's where they'll be, only because those are actually where the Beastmen kind of chill for them, the Kobolds and, the Sahagins. So it's kind of cool that somebody went out of their way to say that they're there. I'm hoping that that's actual data mined information, that they're not just assuming that's the best location. Also, as you can see, we have a dungeon here that we've never actually looked at before. It says Wanderer's Palace, but according to Yoshi P, it has a different name. I'll go over that in another video, though. Don't worry too much. It's the final boss, though, is going to be a real throwback to some previous Final Fantasy bosses. So that's Lenosi. Next, let's touch on Thanel and Ul'dah here. There's actually quite a few dungeons that we haven't seen before, and of course, there's the boat in Vesper Bay that I was talking about. For the most part, Ul'dah and Thanel are pretty straightforward. There's not much going on here that's complicated. So, only thing I hear that's really interesting to look at is the Cutter's Cry and the other 2 dungeons here. One of them sounds like it's a Garlean one, and that would make sense considering some of the content that's nearby it. So, not really much we can say here. Just looking forward to being able to test out those dungeons. And then finally, you have the area around Gridania, the Shroud. In the Shroud, most of the stuff we've pretty much seen before, but there are some things that I'm kind of interested to note. Is that I'm wondering kind of about Odin, where he's going to kind of go. I don't know if there's much information about that yet. They say he's a wandering fate, so maybe it could be anywhere in the Gridania area, in the Shroud area, because that would be pretty cool. That wouldn't be cool if we had him pop in the level 1 area, but that'd be funny at the same time. So I can expect he has some designated areas, and then he kind of just wanders around after that. So yeah, this is all you can really see for now. If you want these maps, they're in the description below. Keep that page favorited, because that map is probably going to get updated for Coerthas and Mordona. I know you can check it in-game, but sometimes it's just nice to have these little links to know which area goes where, so you can get to places a little bit quicker. So now that we've gone over that, how do you actually get around this map is very important. Well, the fastest way, and this will probably be the first way you're shown via the tutorial, is the Aetheryte, or the teleport system. Aetherytes are essentially these giant crystals that have a few functions. As I said, you can use them to get around, but let's go over the other functions first. First function is a home point function. This actually means that when you die, or when you use the return button, that you'll actually come back here. So once every 15 minutes, you do essentially get a return button that lets you go back to your home point. So make sure it's set in a place that's appropriate for what you're doing at the time. Maybe you want to keep it back on Ul'dah, so you can get back there quicker. Maybe you want to keep it at an Aetheryte nearby where you're leveling in case you die. It has a lot of uses. Just make sure that you're ready to move around a little bit to actually set it, because you do have to go to an Aetheryte in order to actually set it. Once you've attuned to several different Aetherytes, you can actually use the teleport system. It costs a little bit of money, but not a big deal. All you have to do is go to the teleport button in your actions and traits, go there, and you can actually go to any of these places. These are just the places I've unlocked, and only places that you have unlocked will show here. The guild cost is based on distance, so the farther you are away from some place, the more expensive it'll be. However, I forgot to mention the favorited locations. Favorited locations actually make them cost less gil. I didn't actually use any of them in the beta because I didn't care because it was going to get wiped anyway, so I wasn't trying to save money. But favorited location will essentially, it'll reduce the cost. This doesn't do much more than that. So here's what. So there's one other feature that the Aetheryte has, and it's called the Aethernet. Now this is something that only activates inside city-states like Ul'dah, Gridania, and Lominsa, and it is actually just a way of getting around very quickly. At level 1, when you see these Aethernets around your city, I highly recommend that you get them as you're going, because you're going to be teleporting back to them as often as possible. Whenever, let's say you're in Gridania and you want to go to the Conjurer's Guild, but you don't want to have to run all the way there, use the Aethernet. Aethernet can be accessed by any Aetheryte or Aethernet shard in the town itself. You cannot use these Aethernets to go between cities though. Now, other than that, there are quite a few other ways of getting around between teleporting and Aethernets and whatnot. Now, one way that I get asked about a lot is the airship. When do you unlock it? How do you get it? The airship actually has its own designated place, so usually not far from the Adventurers Guild in most towns. I know in Limsa you can take an elevator there. In Gridania it's under the Adventurers Guild, and in Ul'dah it's not far from the Adventurers Guild. Essentially you unlock the airship after your level 15 main story mission. I'll be going over that main story mission in a video at a future date. But once you've completed the fight against the little demon guy, and I'm not going to go much more into it than that, you'll get a quest that allows you to go from city to city, and it'll actually be part of your main story mission. So just complete the main story missions until you unlock the airship, and bam, you have the airship. You don't have to get a Kazam pass and 500,000 gills, so don't worry, Final Fantasy XI vets, it's not going to be a pain. Next, you have mounts. I was going to say chocobos here, but because there are so many different kinds of mounts that are going to be in the game when the release comes, such as the Magitech mount, or the Corel mount, or the Gubu mount if you were there for 1.0, then I just want to say mounts. Mounts get around a little bit quicker than traditional movement speed methods, such as sprint. But for the most part, just see the scenery like that. I still prefer teleporting, but when you're trying to get around from within a zone, chocobos is definitely the most efficient way. And then you have chocobo porters, which whenever you go to a new, I guess I want to say, sanctuary or an area around an Aetheryte, you might notice that there's a choco keep there. If you talk to him with the exclamation mark above his head, he will actually give you the ability to teleport between the camps. Chocobo porters essentially not the fastest way of getting around. But if you maybe want to go make a sandwich or something, and you just want to be there, want to be there when you get there, yeah, you can do stuff while you're AFK during the Chocobo Porter cutscenes, okay? So nothing too fancy there, and the final way of getting around is boats. As I said in Lominsa, there are quite a few boats to get around, but the most popular boat is between Limsa Lominsa and Phanolin. This boat in the Beta Phase 3 costs 50,000 gil, but don't worry, it'll cost a reasonable amount come Beta Phase 4. Yoshi P has said so himself. Other than that, boats just help you get around the zone. Sometimes it may be you don't have to use an Aetheryte. Instead, you could just hop on the boat real quick. Won't take you too long, so don't worry, guys. Getting around won't be that difficult in this game. There'll be plenty of ways to get around. I haven't even touched on things such as sprint and the duty finder, which essentially make it so that you don't always have to travel to a dungeon whenever you want to enter. But there'll be more details about that as we go to Beta Phase 4 and as we get on to some of the more hardcore content. But anyway, guys, I hope this video was useful to you. If you found it useful, please like, favorite, subscribe, and share, especially if you have a friend who's wondering how the heck he's going to get around and what the map looks like, and maybe where the boat is, how he gets the airship, anything along those lines pretty much. You can send him this video. Or you can check out my Facebook at www.facebook.com/MrHappy1227. There's a link in the description below. You can go there and you can pick my brain a little bit, ask me questions. You can also find out some more details about how you can donate to this YouTube channel to improve the quality and quantity of the stream. Make sure I can keep doing these videos for you guys, keep doing what I love, and keep giving you guys what you want. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope that was entertaining. Stay tuned because there's going to be some more stuff, not so much Final Fantasy XIV related, but I will make sure to keep that stuff rolling for you guys to keep your itch going. Anyway, guys, have a good day. Take care.